In the early days of the internet, before social media became polished and predictable, the web felt more like a wilderness than a town square. Pages disappeared overnight. Forums grew and died in secret corners. Anonymous people left fragments of themselves behind, and sometimes those fragments became legends. Most of those legends faded. But one did not. One mystery kept resurfacing, across years, across platforms, across generations of users who all asked the same question: who, or what, was behind it? The internet mystery that remains unsolved is the case of Cicada 3301, a name that first appeared in 2012 and immediately infected the online world with obsession. It began with a simple image posted to a message board. No explanation, no context, just a strange message asking for the most intelligent minds on the internet. The image was a puzzle, but not a normal one. It was designed with layers of cryptography, hidden codes, classical literature, steganography, and references scattered across history, mathematics, and obscure texts. Whoever built it was not testing curiosity. They were measuring endurance. People who encountered it assumed it was a game. Then they assumed it was a recruitment tool. Then, as more clues emerged, they started to wonder if it was something much stranger. The puzzle was too elaborate to be a prank, too disciplined to be random, and too obscure to be a typical advertisement. It seemed to reward only the people who could think like a codebreaker, a historian, and a paranoid investigator at the same time. That alone would have made it memorable. But what turned Cicada 3301 into a true internet ghost story was not just the puzzle itself. It was the silence that followed it. After the first wave of clues, the trail led players through hidden websites, encrypted messages, coordinate searches, and real-world locations. Some clues pointed to books that had to be read in the correct order. Others required knowledge of ancient symbols, numerical patterns, and deep internet lore. Then the trail expanded beyond screens. Participants reported messages posted on street lamps, QR-like symbols placed in public spaces, and references to real-world meetings. The puzzle stopped feeling like a challenge and started feeling like an invitation from an organization that understood how to hide in plain sight. And yet no one could prove who was sending it. That uncertainty is what gave the mystery its power. Because the internet loves patterns, and it loves answers even more. But Cicada 3301 offered patterns without closure. Every time a theory began to solidify, another contradiction appeared. Some believed it was a secret society recruiting hackers. Others believed it was an intelligence agency looking for talent outside traditional systems. Some thought it was an elaborate art project, built to expose how easily people project meaning onto complexity. And some insisted it was all of those things, or none of them, depending on which clue you chose to trust. The weirdest part is how the puzzle seemed to respect intelligence while also mocking certainty. Many internet mysteries survive because they are vague. Cicada 3301 survived because it was precise. The symbols were too intentional. The texts were too carefully selected. The decryption paths were too consistent. It was as if someone had designed a maze with perfect architectural discipline, then deliberately removed the map. Even the people who solved portions of it found themselves unable to explain the final purpose. In the years that followed, fragments of the mystery continued to appear. New puzzles surfaced in later years, echoing the original style but refusing to reveal the truth behind it. The name Cicada 3301 itself became a kind of curse word in internet circles, shorthand for impossible complexity. Countless threads, videos, blog posts, and documentaries tried to pin it down. None of them succeeded. The clues were documented. The routes were reconstructed. The public history was archived. And still the central question remained untouched. Who was behind it, and why did they disappear after leading so many people into the dark? One theory says the mystery was never meant to have a final answer. According to this view, the point was selection. The puzzle was a filter designed to identify rare minds capable of solving advanced problems under pressure. If that is true, then the silence makes sense. The group, whoever they were, may have found the people they wanted and then vanished before being identified. But that explanation only deepens the unease. Because if the puzzle was a test, then what was the institution behind it testing for? Skill, loyalty, secrecy, or something more disturbing, like the willingness to follow a voice you do not trust into a place you cannot trace. Another theory is that Cicada 3301 was not one organization, but several layers of influence disguised as one. The clues could have been created by different people at different times, each borrowing the mythology of the original. That would explain the inconsistency in later appearances, but not the first message. The original 2012 puzzle still stands apart, a clean and unsettling signal from an unseen source. It had the confidence of something that expected to be obeyed. Then there is the theory that frightens people the most, because it feels almost too fitting for the internet age. Maybe Cicada 3301 was never about recruitment at all. Maybe it was about demonstration. A proof that a hidden group, armed with enough technical skill, could reach across the internet and make thousands of strangers work for them without offering a single promise. If that is true, then the puzzle was not just a mystery. It was a warning. A demonstration of how curiosity can be guided, manipulated, and consumed by a voice that never shows its face. Even today, the case remains a benchmark for internet obsession because it sits at the exact intersection of intelligence and dread. It rewards the belief that the world is full of hidden systems, but it never confirms what those systems are. It invites investigation, then punishes certainty. It is the kind of mystery that thrives online because the internet itself is built on the same principles: anonymity, fragments, repetition, and the haunting possibility that something important is happening just out of sight. And maybe that is why Cicada 3301 has never died. Not because it was solved, and not because it was unsolved in the ordinary sense, but because it captured something deeper about the digital age. We live surrounded by signals we cannot verify, instructions we cannot trace, and identities that may not be real. We are constantly being watched, targeted, profiled, and sorted by systems we never meet. Cicada 3301 turned that fear into a puzzle. It made the hidden machinery feel intelligent, deliberate, and almost human. So the mystery remains, suspended in the oldest state an online story can occupy, archived, analyzed, and still unanswered. The clues have been studied by cryptographers, researchers, hobbyists, and conspiracy hunters. The websites are gone. The threads are buried. The screenshots are everywhere. But the name still carries weight, because it represents one of the internet's most perfect unresolved moments. A message appeared from nowhere, challenged the world's sharpest minds, and then vanished back into the dark. No confession. No reveal. No ending. Just the lingering possibility that somewhere inside the endless noise of the internet, something is still waiting for the right person to find it.